Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighead. Crappie fishing is one of our favorite things here at the Wildlife Department. Over the years, we've featured countless ways and places to go about it. You may remember a few years ago that I teamed up with Rod Carter to do some summertime crappie fishing down on Broken Bow. He taught us a few techniques and man, we filled an ice chest full of some great fish. Oh, I got one right there close. Rod must have taught me something. You know, today we're going to be back with Rod doing a little southeast crappie fishing, this time on Pinecreek Lake. And he brings along his good friend and co-worker, Ray Vaconcellos.
Well, got one too close.
A double, all right.
I don't know that anyone had a whole lot of hope for me to turn out real great, including myself. I didn't have a lot of confidence in that and at the time. But when I did get that phone call, that's really when a new life began right there. And like I said, I felt like that right then I knew that God had a plan for my life, and I'm still in the process of living that out. I haven't reached the final destination, but you know, it's better than I deserve.
There's the first fish of the day. That's what we're looking for.
He's a little small.
He'll
Bigger the other day.
Oh, I just had one on right there, Ray, and let him get off. There's one right there. He just barely was on there.
Uh-oh, tied up. You can get him in the boat.
Yeah, he don't. Yeah, that's
got a
a
little
little bit
size
better
on him.
fish there. And we'll swing him over. Oh yeah, I hadn't lead there. That looks like a female too. How far they inhale that jig sometimes. And there's the little slip bobber. That narrow eat.
I got to know Rod after I took a new job here, and he's kind of, I hate to say it, he's kind of my mentor, and he's kind of taught me how to do the job the last couple of years. In the process, I figured out he's a pretty good old guy, and we just become friends at work, and we get together and do some fishing and stuff like that when we can.
Myself and Ray, we design line for customers. We also do design all the maintenance, new construction, the configuration of the systems to keep the lights on, you know, in our areas for American Electric Power.
I started out as a lineman and kind of went through the steps, and now I'm the engineer. They call it engineers. Some people call it engineer. Some people call it a CST. But basically, I design the poles and the transformers and the wires for the crew to go out and build and put on site at location.
Our free time, when we get time to take vacation or weekends, I like to fish, you know, as you well know. And I like to take Ray. He started fishing with us some last year.
Ray, how long we worked together?
5 years.
5 years.
Yep, 5 years.
A lot of people don't know that Ray here is or I guess you all the rest of your life, an Army Ranger, is that correct?
Yeah.
Afghanistan theater?
Yeah, 4 years I served. It was a life-changing experience for me.
Well, you know, we talk about your past life when you was a teenager. Some of the things you did, some of the things you wished you hadn't have done.
I was a troublemaker. I had good parents, and the culture though, around where I grew up, I kind of fell in with the wrong crowd and started making some poor decisions early in my life, and got into some addictions, drug and alcohol addictions and things like that. You know, I was pretty strung out, and I'd hit rock bottom, or whatever you want to call it. People call it different things, but you know, I was at the house there and by myself. My parents was on the truck. They've been gone for a while. Anyway, I'd had the OSBI come visit me at my house, and they told me they didn't catch me, but they told me they was on to me. You know, I was going to be in trouble, and so I better straighten up or disappear. So, like I said, I was at the end of my rope, and I was sitting there one night at the house. So I got down, and I did some praying for probably the first time in my life, and I just asked Jesus. I said, what do you want? You know, what do you want me to do? There's something I got to do. Something. I can't sit here. I'm dying. You know, and right then, the phone rang, and it was an Army recruiter, and he said, "Hey, I want to come by and pay you a visit." And I said, "Well," I said, "Come on, I guess I'm ready." Anyway, you know, I went and signed up, joined up and everything, and for some goofy reason thought I could be a Army Ranger and all that. And I called my mom and told her what I'd done. She said, she wasn't very happy with me, you know. She said, "You joined the Army? I can't believe you done that. You know, you're gonna go to war." And I told her, I said, "Mom, there ain't been no war since Vietnam." Which it was delayed entry program, so I was still at the house for a couple days. And that next morning, she called me on the telephone, and she woke me up off the couch. She said, the phone rang. She said, "Son," she said, "get up and turn on the TV right now." Well, when I got up, I turned on the TV, and it was just in time to see that second plane hit the building. And you know, right then, ever since that moment, my life was changed from that moment on. I knew God had a purpose for my life, and that purpose has changed, you know, from time to time, doing different things. And like today, you know, maybe that's why I'm here, just to be able to share that. No matter how low you can go, you know, God has a plan for you. You just gotta look, you know, you gotta look for it, not give up, don't give up hope. But I've had an interesting life. You know, I've got to do a lot of things and meet a lot of people, do things I never thought I'd be able to do or could do. Didn't know that I had the ability to do them. But I'm a pretty blessed person in this life, that's for sure.
You've got a 3-year-old that really likes to go hunting and fishing already. I like to add you know, you got to make peace with your past for it won't affect the present or the future, and that future's that 3-year-old, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's what it's all about. I wanted something a little different for him than what I had.
Well, you know, you showed me pictures, Ray, being over there, and you know, y'all dressed like the locals, snuck around in the middle of the locals. A lot of times they didn't know you were even there.
We wasn't running around in groups of, you know, 100, not even 30. We was a 2 or 3 man team. So it's a little bit different. You know, it's you and 2 other guys. That's all you got to rely on. You know, we wasn't fooling nobody during the day and stuff. At night, you know, we wore the hodge and the hats, and we had the beards. At night, it would give you a little bit of time, a little illusion. You might be able to walk past somebody, you know, at a distance, and they might not think much.
When did you think, you know, I'm not coming back to Southeast Oklahoma?
We was out looking for this guy, and we had what we call it terp. We call him a terp, but it's what all that is an interpreter, you know. And he was a pretty shady character, you could just tell. We'd caught him, and he was kind of a rat, you know. Well, they took us down there, and we was looking for this certain guy, and there was a funeral going on for another guy, and we gonna crash the funeral party. Well, we get down there, and we was recon, so all we was really trying to do is we was in the truck with the tinted windows, and it looked like a local truck. It was just a Toyota piece of junk truck, but anyway, we got down there, and he was sitting, I mean, we pulled down there in that funeral procession. It was on the main road in town, and we got down there, and that guy was 5 foot from the truck. And I'm in the back seat, and my squad leader looked at me. He said, he said, jump out and grab him. And I said, do what? He said, get him. We got him right here. So, you know, it was time to do it. And so, you know, heart pounding out of your chest and everything. I jump out, and there's hundreds of people there. So I jump out and grab this guy and wad him up the best I can, throw him in the back of the truck. And I get back there with him, and there's those people, I mean, they went crazy. Well, I mean, we crashed a funeral, you know, but they started throwing rocks. And, you know, it's down in a ravine, and you don't think, you know, they threw rocks. That ain't. They was throwing, you know, 2-pound rocks, hundreds of people with that truck. They was beating us to death. And we got out of there, and they chased us out on that little narrow road. And, you know, there was only 3 of us, and there was hundreds of them. But that was probably the most scaredest I've been, just because we was just about to be overpowered, and it wouldn't even have took guns. All they had was rocks, which there's, you know, the little gang had guns. They was shooting at us and stuff. We just trying to get out of there in one piece. We didn't have the manpower to sit there and fight them.
And I do admire veterans. My grandfather was a veteran. All my great uncles fought in World War II. You know, I sat around as a kid listening to those stories, you know, and I have a lot of respect for those people. I never served, I wish to have. But we need to serve our veterans and pay back. That goes both ways. That street goes both ways. Yeah, we're using a slip bobber rig, slip corks. My old grandfather called them slip corks. They were actually cork. Use a bobber stop. This is this little fancy knot here and a stopper bead. And this is a thill 1/8. It's for the 1/8 size jig, and it's a weighted float. It casts extremely easy on spinning rods. In other words, you can actually fish this thing up to 8 foot deep. You know, the bobber stop will actually wind up in the reel, and it'll still cast very easily. Cast very accurately, long distances even. And been using Bobby Garland. I use a little bit of everything. I like a lot of Bobby Garland stuff made here in Oklahoma. And this is a Bobby Garland bait here. I caught a lot of fish last Friday on some very good fish on this same cove. As we work down this bank, and then the sun gets a little brighter, it should get better. I use braided line. Braided line has no memory. And when you're fishing, you know, throwing or casting, it has 0 stretch. Monofilament has, you know, possibly 10%, maybe more stretch. Well, when a fish sinks the cork, well, you can turn him with this braided line. It's much better. That braided line is like 20-pound rated, but it's only the diameter of, say, 6-pound or 4-pound mono. This might be a good crappie here. I can't tell yet. Not too big. But he will eat. Barely, but he will eat. I think we're really gonna catch fish today, guys. That one really ate it. It's plumb down in there. That far down in him. That looks like a good one. Not too big, but he'll eat.
If we keep catching them, I might have to start putting these little ones back.
Yeah, there's a little, that's kind of a small fish. It's some of the problem in the past we've had with Pinecreek. It's real small crappie. When they really get to biting it, you blink your eye, when your eye opens, the cork will be gone.
Yeah, that's what happened a minute ago.
That's when you know it's starting to get good, when you blink your eye and look, you wait, your eye opens back up and there's no cork there, like that one there. Yeah, they're guarding pretty good. Got no eat. Look at the color on that fish. I bet this is a male. You can see him glowing on the water. Look at him. Look at the colors on that thing. Now that is pretty. Spawning colors. He's got his fight on. That elite too. Trying to see if their tails have got any bloody marks on them. I don't really see that they're guarding or fanning the nest. They always seem to be around wood, around a stump, and never fish one spot long. You fish and move, fish and move. The fish are up spawning, guarding nest. We actually seen some fish chase stuff off and threw in there and caught them. Look at there, there's another one come out of that hole. They're going to be around some kind of structure, some kind of wood.
Lost.
Don't tell me you lost that fish. Oh no. Boy, now he made that cork disappear. Look at that steel cork down there. Oh, he ate that jig. Yep. There's another fish right there. Boy, they're stacked up around that thing. That makes what, 3 or 4 already in this, them 2 stumps. There's another eater. That in there. Got it way down in there too. He wasn't coming off. Here we go. I knew they were here.
There's a little more size, but I've been looking.
That's a little bit better fish there. I know we wore them out here Friday and Saturday. Right around that biggest stump there, Ray. I'm gonna try to drift by without turning the trolling motor on. We don't blow them out. Another male. Got his fight on too. Now that one bombed the cork. That's how I like to see it go under. And be real quiet. We won't drift right by them. Crappie can kind of be really spooky.
Good.
That's a good fish right there, boys.
Yeah,
look at him waller around. If I can keep him on, he's around that stump. Let's see if I can work him around it. There we go. That's a pretty good fish there. That is a dandy. Oh yeah. Oh, look how far that jig's down that one's mouth. That one ate it, as they call it. That's the way I like to see the cork tumble. Good old Pinecreek Crappie. I don't see where they're fanning the nest. Don't want him to tear off here. I believe that one's gonna eat. Oh yeah. Pretty Pinecreek Crappie. He sunk that cork like he meant it, didn't he? He is. I ain't turned this fish good yet. Oh yeah.
You just had to outdo me.
I wasn't gonna let you outdo me there, Ray. That's look the size of the mouth on that crappie. That's a good one there. Good fish. Good eating.
Yeah, I think we found them.
I got one on here too. They are really tearing it up on this point. Ray's got one on too. We're doubled up.
That's the best. That's a good one.
We are wearing them out here, gentlemen. This is not as big, but he'll eat. Ooh, Ray's got a good one on.
Right now, you don't really got time. They're hitting it pretty good. Just a few seconds in the water, it's been going under.
They are really biting good. If we can keep on them here and not spook them, we should pull 10 or 15 off this spot. I just had one to sink the cork, but didn't sink it good enough to set the hook on him. There's one right there. Now that's catching fish when you don't turn the camera off and it's one after another. That's the way I like to see it. Another small eater, but that'll be tasty. I can keep this one on. This is a good one here.
Yeah, it is.
Look at there. Now that's a pretty fish. That is a pretty fish. I think Ray's got one on right there right now too. Fine springtime slip bobber fishing from southeast Oklahoma, Pinecreek Lake. It don't get no finer than that, gentlemen.
That's right.
Well, y'all call it outdoor Oklahoma. I call it outdoor southeast Oklahoma because there's no better place if you're an outdoorsman.
I didn't dream my life would turn out this way. It's better than I ever could have dreamed it would be, and you know, I'm thankful that I am able to provide these things with my family and do these things with my son. There's definitely another way things could have went, and I don't know that anyone had a whole lot of hope for me to turn out real great, including myself. I didn't have a lot of confidence in that, and at the time. But when I did get that phone call, that's really when a new life began right there. And like I said, I felt like that right then. Right then I knew that God had a plan for my life, and I'm still in the process of living that out. I haven't reached the final destination, but I, you know, it's better than I deserve. My life is better than I deserve. My job is better than I deserve. You know, my kids and my wife they're better than I deserve. I don't deserve all the good things that I have. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm very thankful for what I have.
Well, I'm sure you would agree that Ray's life story is certainly inspirational, to say the least. I mean, he's living proof that a person can rise above their circumstances and do something significant with their life. We're grateful for our servicemen and women that sacrifice daily and put themselves in harm's way on our behalf. And speaking of, on a side note, we'd like to encourage you to learn more about the Wildlife Department's relatively new Stars and Stripes program. It provides licenses to our veterans and their families. For more information about how you can get involved, just look us up on our website, wildlifedepartment.com. We're also grateful for sportsmen like Rod who have taken the time and effort to bring someone under their wing and mentor them. You know, no matter how much the Wildlife Department does, it's going to be the efforts of folks like Rod that really truly make the biggest difference for the future of hunting and fishing. Maybe this is your year to do your part. Take someone new with you next time. For all of us at your Wildlife Department, I'm Todd Craighead, and we'll see you right back here next time on Outdoor Oklahoma.